Hey, this is Megan with Save the Storks. We are here back with our friend Megan Allman, digging into some pro-life apologetics and pro-life topics. So the next thing that we're going to talk about really is surrounding, people of faith and Christians. Is it possible to be a pro-choice Christian?
Ooh, okay, good. That's a great question. We're going to have to unpack that question, so stick around for a minute. My initial answer is it is possible, in the sense that it is possible, I think, to be a Christian and then be mistaken about many things, or one thing in this circumstance. As I am sure I am mistaken about any number of things. I think I've got this one right because of the reasons I have behind the view, not because of I'm better or anything like that. It's just understanding the way the argument works. So my husband works with Summit Ministries. We've talked about that a little bit in the past. We run student conferences all summer long where students come and learn different things dealing with Christian worldview, different worldviews, different moral issues that are facing culture today. And so beginning of the summer, we train our staff to be able to have conversations with students. And this question comes up all the time. What if I have a student who professes to be a Christian, but then they disagree with the pro-life talk or the pro-life speaker? How do we navigate that well? And so one of the things that we walk through with these staff students or they're staffers of ours is, as a Christian, if we look at the church at large, we have many things that we would call essential Christian doctrine. Like if you don't believe in one of these, you might not be a Christian, but these are the things that are like bedrock, right? The Imago Dei, that we were made in the image of God, that God is creator, that Jesus was born of a virgin, that he died on the cross for our sins, and that the resurrection happened. Like these types of things are bedrock to our faith. There are other things in the church, I think, that flow from those essentials that we might call closed-handed issues. In other words, because they flow naturally from the essentials, when it comes to these issues, we're not going to be open-handed about them. We're going to go, no, actually, this is a necessary next step from understanding the essentials. And then there are other things that we would call tertiary issues or open-handed issues that are more like in-house debates, in the finer bits of theology or whatever. Like, when it comes to the pro-life view, it is one of these closed-handed issues. So is it essential Christian doctrine? No, but it flows from the idea that God is creator, that he made the world a certain way, that he made human beings in his image. And because the best evidence that we have tells us that from the moment of conception, the unborn are both human and valuable, like we are human and valuable as adults sitting here, then it flows naturally that if I hold to the Imago Dei, then I would hold to a pro-life view. To be pro-choice is informed by other things. And I think it would involve some serious conversation, some serious questioning of what you may hold as bedrock. So is it possible for someone to hold to these essentials and then adopt the idea from the culture that pro-choice is the way to go? That's possible. But I think that person is mistaken in their view. And I hope that we would have a great conversation as to the reasons for why they might be mistaken. And we would learn from each other, by the way. So that's kind of how I would come at that.
I think as Christians, it can sometimes feel hard to draw what feels like a hard line in the sand, maybe.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is maybe just not being equipped to have those conversations. So feeling like I am a Christian, therefore, I believe in Imago Dei, therefore I am pro-life, but everyone around me or society around me, the culture around me says that in order to support women or be empowering to women, I have to hold this pro-life or pro-choice view. And so being able to have compassionate conversations and really realize, like, what is it? How do we get to the root of that conversation and equip Christians to have those conversations so that maybe there's a bit more confidence in, okay, I do ascribe to this view, and not only do I ascribe to it, but I can support it and have a good conversation with someone without coming across as, angry or judgmental. And I'll just speak from experience, but I think that for me, when it comes to like pro-choice versus pro-life, is kind of the big thing is, do I know how to talk about this well?
I will definitely. There's a confidence thing that's going on. Some of that begins just by seeing the person in front of you as a person, not as ideas, right? We're talking about ideas, but we're talking to a person who holds them. So we have to start there, because the heart and the bedrock of the pro-life view is that we're all made in the image of God. Or a step up from that, philosophically, we're all intrinsically valuable because we're human first. And so we begin there. I do think that even if you don't know the ins and outs of the argument, I think you've probably found this to be true, but if it's true, if you're convinced that it's true, then you know that you at least come from a position of strength and not weakness. Even if you don't know how to articulate it all well, your best thing that you have at your disposal might be good questions. Just get to know that person. They may have hold of you that has nothing to do with the apologetics, as it were, but because of their own story or what's happened to them. So to start there, and then you can equip yourself with the information. We can learn that.
Yeah.
We were never asked to know everything, but just to do the best we can with what we have with the person in front of us, so that they might be helped in ways they wouldn't have been otherwise.